If you're tasting along at home, if you have the tasting kit, Harbison is the first cheese that we're going to try. Here it is. It's a bloomy rind cheese. So Brie is the most popular bloomy rind cheese, just like Champagne is the most popular sparkling wine. So bloomy rinds is the family name, and it has that name because these white, soft rinds literally bloom as they develop. You can see we also have some blooms of blue and gray and green molds on the outer edge, and what that is actually a spruce bark strip. So you can see I'm able to peel back that spruce bark. I like to kind of keep that on there. I'm just going to kind of tuck that back because the spruce bark, it's kind of a different medium. It grows these sort of more varied flora in the same family as the fluffy white stuff. But these we call it flora. It's a more marketable term than fungi or mold, which is also what it is. But these microflora bloom and grow on the surface. They soften the cheese as it over time. So the cheese starts out kind of like rubbery and firm, and as that rind grows, so as I mentioned, the rind as it grows is softening the cheese. So it starts out firm, then it gets softer. And so the spruce bark strip is an old Jura Mountain tradition. And somebody figured out that if your cheese gets really soft as it ripens and it starts to puddle and fall apart, that you can wrap it with the spruce bark strip. It's kind of the inner layer of the spruce tree. And I have a short video I can show of actually that harvest process going on. But it makes a natural dish. It not only helps flavor the cheese, but it helps hold it together as it ripens. And so actually what you end up with is like a little bowl that you can peel back that top rind and just scoop out that gooey center. Really beautiful. And as this cheese ripens, it gets more flavorful and interesting and rich. So you get garlicky, cauliflower, roasted vegetable flavors. Sometimes it's mushroomy. That white flora growing on the surface is actually related to like a white button mushroom, and you get those kinds of earthy flavors from it. So this is a great example of a cheese that's kind of iconic for Jasper Hill now. And the spruce bark gives it almost like a woodsy, mustardy, je ne sais quoi, a little bit more complexity and depth of flavor. So it's sort of a multi-purpose treatment there. So let's see, I've got.
So what would you pair with this?
Oh gosh, Harbison is lovely with any beverage that has a nice amount of acidity and that has seen a barrel. So Chardonnay is the first thing that comes to mind, or any other even oak aged beers, especially Saison styles that are oak aged, that have that kind of brightness, and then have spent some time in a barrel. Even bourbons can be lovely because they have that kind of that richness that the barrel imparts, and that spruce bark plays really nicely with the barrel. Also, it's just wonderful with a crusty baguette, anything that you can sort of get in there and scoop and enjoy it with. And you can see here, this is the bark harvesting process. So there's a man named Ron, and he spends his time in the woods harvesting these bark strips. So he's using that double-handled knife, scraping off the rough outer bark. And then he has a very special tool. It's 2 X-Acto knives taped together with a little spacer, so he gets the right width every time, and he runs that along the edge of the log, and you get what's called the cambium layer, the inner bark layer. It's flexible. You can peel it right off the tree, turn it into strips, and then we rubber band it onto the edge of the wheels, as you can see in the third panel there. So a really unique process. You're starting to see that bark wrapped soft cheese style pop up more and more with more American producers, which is, it's kind of exciting. The category is growing, so keep your eye out, especially for those. So Michael's put together an awesome series of content for this month. If this is the first one that you've tuned in for, I highly encourage you to check out the other ones that he's put together. I'm going to do 2 more, one pairing chocolate and wine, and the other bourbon and some charcuterie. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming down the pike. And you're also able to order a tasting set from Jasper Hill. That's going to be the same cheeses that we're going to use in different settings. So this was the story of Jasper Hill and the artisan cheese movement. And then in the pairing classes, we're really going to dive deep into the sensory properties of each cheese and pair them with other things. So you can pick up that tasting kit at jasperhillfarm.com/shop. And then there's a link to that specific tasting kit for these classes. So I'm so happy to be able to be here today to share the story of Jasper Hill and my love of cheese, obviously. And thanks for supporting American Cheese Month and American cheese producers all over the country. I hope you have a lot of fun tasting and learning more about it. Thank you so much, Michael, for having me.